Ever found yourself entangled in a debate on social media and realized you'd lost your cool in the heat of the moment? I admit I've done that one too many times. There's something about social media that brings out the worst of us. We become confrontational, angry, combative, and really just plain mean as our thumbs race across the keypad. How do we keep our composure and our principles while engaging with people we may think are just plain wrong? Or worse, are perpetuating oppression against others with their words and need to be stopped right away? I want to share with you 5 questions that we can ask of ourselves while engaging on social media to ensure that we are engaging in a mindful and purposeful way without hurting ourselves or hurting other people. The first question is, what are your intentions? In Islam, we're constantly being told by scholars that we need to purify our intentions. We need to check our intentions. So intentions are very important. Now, how do we ensure that we have the right intentions? Because sometimes we may think that we have the right intentions, but when we dig deep enough, we realize, no, there's something there that's wrong. So sometimes we think we're doing good, but then we realize that while we're in the midst of the debate, that really what we want to do is win the argument or achieve our superiority or demolish the opponent. So if that's your intention, then that's the wrong intention to have while engaging in social media. But if your intention is to help someone along on their life journey and allow them to reflect and think and learn and grow, then that's a great intention to have when engaging on social media. The second question we should be asking is, what are the possible repercussions? Because there could be all sorts of repercussions. One repercussion could be us, the individuals who are actually engaging the subjects. So are we actually harming ourselves by engaging? Are we perhaps wasting our time or bringing negativity into our lives? Or maybe there's something else that we could be doing that's more important, but we are instead on our keyboards and we're wasting our time. So that's one repercussion that could be negative for us as a subject. Now, what about the individual who is being dialogued with? Will that individual leave the interaction feeling belittled or shamed, or will the individual leave feeling somewhat enlightened or feeling as if they learned something and want to apply this in their lives? What is the repercussion for that individual? And what about for the people, the onlookers, people on the sidelines looking on and participating in the debate? What about them? What sort of impact will it have on them? So we need to think about all of the possible repercussions when engaging on social media. The third question we should be asking is, what are our methods? Because we can have the best of causes, but if our method isn't right, we can undermine our cause. Now, one method could be just to stay out of the discussion altogether. You know, in Islam, there's a huge emphasis on guarding our tongues. We don't have to have an opinion necessarily. And even if we do have an opinion, we don't have to share it with other people. We can also take the discussion offline and have it face-to-face, which is sometimes the best way to resolve issues. But let's say we do decide that it's important to engage online. How are we going to do it? Are we going to attack and belittle? Are we going to take apart a person's argument bit by bit? Or are we going to take a moment, think about what the person is saying, reflect on it, and then engage? What is our method going to be? The fourth question is, are we giving people the benefit of the doubt? Are we providing space for people to think and reflect and possibly change and transform themselves? Or are we condemning them and thinking that they're lost forever? You know, we have no idea how God views an individual. We might see that person as bad, but God might see that person in a very different way. So we need to be careful about the judgments that we're making about individuals. We need to exercise mercy towards them. When we are looking at the words an individual has written or typed or said, we also need to take a step back and think about, what is the context of those words? What sort of life trajectory has that person had that made that person get to the keyboard and write those words? And that trajectory might be completely different from yours. So that person might have a completely different worldview. And so we need to try to understand that worldview before we actually engage with the individual and attack and critique that person. And the last and most important question that we should be asking ourselves are we engaging in self-reflection? Because sometimes we look outward and we see people doing things and we criticize and we attack, but we don't actually look within and realize that we're doing the same things we're criticizing other people for. So we really need to look within and realize that, yes, we are human beings. We've made mistakes. We continue to make mistakes. We have perpetuated oppression and racism towards others. We are going through a life journey. We've learned along the way. We've improved. But there was a time when we might have been like the person that we are arguing with. And we may still be making mistakes as we go. And there are people along the journey with us who are helping us and helping us to improve our ideas and improve our thoughts and fine-tune them. Perhaps we could be that sort of person in someone else's life. So that's what we should be thinking. We should be engaging in a process of self-reflection. These are the 5 questions that I think are really important for us to ask throughout the process of engaging in social media. What are our intentions? What are the possible repercussions? What are our methods? Are we giving people the benefit of the doubt? And are we engaging in self-reflection? I think asking these questions of ourselves throughout the process will allow us to remain intentional and to be humble and compassionate to people, even while advocating for the goals that are important to us. And it allows us to do so while respecting the possibility of other people to improve and change and transform at some point in their lives. I'm Safiyyah Ally for Let the Quran Speak.